Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business. Right now, we are literally in the Metaverse. This is, I don't know if there is a podcast that has ever done this, but we are going to record this podcast with Oculus goggles on, controllers in our hands, and we are in a virtual environment. And I have brought somebody special with me today. He hasn't been on the microphone in a while. His name is Elvin Freitas, and he is co-founder of the EdUp Experience podcast. Elvin, welcome back, man. I say welcome back, but where are you right now, and what's going on?
This is the coolest experience, EdUp experience I've ever had in my life. This is amazing. I'm actually, just so you know, I am out and about. So you're going to hear some background noise, but I'm sitting down and I got my VictoryXR goggles on, and I can see you in the Metaverse. And there's a beautiful, what do we call a courtyard? Are we calling this? It's very nice.
We're in
and
it's a university courtyard, and we're being shepherded by an individual here. He took a bow. Literally, he just took a bow.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Inside this virtual reality, ladies and gentlemen, Danny Coyle. He is the lead software developer for VictoryXR. Danny, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, guys. Am I coming through okay through my headset mic?
You sound fantastic. You look fantastic here in the Metaverse.
Thank you. Done. Yeah, great. So this is our lovely campus quad here. It's where we like to start off all of our campus tours. It's where we like to do our professional development lessons for our virtual professors. Actually, they're real professors coming into the virtual world. So it's a great spot for those who aren't here today. We have some footballs and beach balls to toss around. It's a great way for icebreakers to happen, right?
Yeah, I tried to throw Elvin a football, and he did not catch it, which is usually the way things go around here. But Danny, I want to just set the stage for us. We did interview your CEO on this podcast a while back, Steve, and I said, Steve, at the end of the episode, has anybody ever recorded a podcast inside one of your virtual environments? And he said, no, that's a great idea. So literally, here we are, a month, 6 weeks later, something like that, and we are going to literally let you take us on this incredible journey. As I look around this courtyard right now, I literally see footballs on the ground. There's some cornhole over there, which I would like to try. But we are in the middle of a campus courtyard. It is unbelievable. Let's just say that. Elvin, I don't know what your impression is here.
Yeah, no, I just want to, I want to say, if you're listening to this podcast now, jump over to our YouTube channel ASAP, because we're going to have the video here so you can see what we're talking about. It's not going to be that easy when you listen to the audio, but please jump on, just go to EdUp Experience YouTube, and you're going to see this amazing video. Hey, Joe, oh my God, dude, I love your white socks. You look great, man.
Thanks, man. I try to style it up. All right, Danny, take us where you want to take us and show us around.
Sure. Now, so before we go to our different locations, let's talk about our avatars. Let's talk about our avatars themselves, our virtual representations of ourselves. Now, you guys are using a couple of our demo accounts, so you didn't have time to make your own avatars. But I, of course, got to deck out my own avatar to look as much like myself as possible. Now, Elvin's doing something that we in the virtual space call Frankensteining. So you're seated down in the virtual in the real world. You're sitting down at a chair, right? And your arms are either resting on your table or you're resting on your armrests. But here in the virtual space, your avatar is appearing to be standing up. So your arms are resting on invisible armrests. So you're Frankensteining.
Yeah, you really look like an idiot, man. You really do, inside of here. I mean, you got to stand up. It looks like your arms are all twisted up like a pretzel.
Okay, I'm gonna try my best, all right? Because I don't want to actually bump into somebody. But okay, I'm on it. I'm gonna try.
All right, man. Stand up and let them look at you over where you are, and they're gonna look at you with envy. See, look at that. Look at that hand. Anyway, Danny, let's focus on you.
Sure,
like usual.
Yes, of course. Now, Joe, I can tell just by looking at you that you fully calibrated a proper floor space. You're pacing around your space because you got 2 or 3 feet around you to work with, right?
Yep.
So Joe's looking good. Now, I can go ahead and recenter you there. Boop. And there you go. You're all recentered. There you go. So now he's looking better,
buddy.
Because here in the space, the way I like to call it is in order for teachers to really engage with their students, one of the big powerful bits about VR is the ability to gesticulate, be able to make gestures to your students, make eye contact in a more meaningful way, right? And that's what really gets students engaged. So we call it puppeteering your avatar, being cognizant of what your avatar looks like, because that doesn't always mesh with what you think you look like, right? So that's one of the aspects of practice, is puppeteering your avatar to look good, to sound good, to make big broad gestures, so you're really getting your students' attention. There you go. Yeah, we love it.
Yeah. So for anybody that's listening right now, Elvin is about 3 feet away from me here in the virtual world, literally walking back and forth with no purpose. And I'm not sure he knows what he's doing. Danny is standing up, sitting down, moving his arms around. I'm probably in the virtual world, about 3 feet away from him as well. So if you imagine this as an instructor, if Danny was the teacher, the professor, he'd be in the virtual world here. I'd actually be able to reach out. I'm going to reach out and shake his hand now, Danny. Okay, we've shaken hands now. And I actually felt a vibration in the stick, in the joystick, right? Oh, high five. Nice. So it actually gives me sensation, right, in my hand when we Elvin, so Danny just went for knuckles and Elvin tried a high five. Failed.
There you go.
Yeah, so you can move around. It's actually totally moving my body the way I want. My hands, it's actually pretty incredible. So you can make flying gestures. We can we can show off our muscles of our avatar. So literally, it's as real as it gets in here, guys. It's actually pretty incredible. So it allows for physical contact in a virtual world because it's showing you, it's vibrating the controller as soon as that contact takes place, right?
Totally.
And that's meaningful.
Oh, and for those who are just listening via audio, these avatars do have legs. So.
Yes, we do have legs. And I have some serious Michael Jackson socks on, white socks, Elvin. It's looking good.
I love it. This is amazing.
Let's go ahead and move right along. So the way that we typically like to conduct our tours is we'll start off in some more traditional classroom spaces, show you the capabilities of what you're able to do in those classroom spaces, and then we'll move on to some more fantastical locations where we'll be able to have some opportunities that you can't have in a real classroom. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Groovy. So we'll
I do want to try the cornhole eventually, though, Danny. Just so you know.
yeah, no worries. I got you.
Let's go.
All right. So we'll start off with our most traditional location, the auditorium.
Whoa. I'm locked in a seat.
That's right. Welcome, guys. So the first thing you may have noticed is as an instructor, so I'm playing the role of the instructor here. I've got a little star above my head indicating that I am the host of the session, and you guys are playing the role of my students here. So I actually have a lot of power over the capabilities of my students. As soon as you spawned into the space, I locked you guys into your seats. You guys can't get up until I give the okay. I can do this en masse, or I can do this for individual students here. So, for example, Elvin, I don't want you sitting all the way over there in the corner. I want you sitting right front and center, so I know you're paying attention. So you're and we'll just do 3, 2, 1. There you go.
Whoa, that was cool. I'm on the other side. That's amazing. Hey, and Joe's got a goatee now. Very cool. Nice goatee.
You know what? I grew it out in between the loading screens here. Danny, just so I could describe the space. We are in an auditorium. There are, probably 30, 40 chairs in here. It is literally an auditorium with terraced chairs and tables. Danny, the instructor, standing at the front of the classroom. He's got a sport coat on. Red shoes, looks good, and he's drinking a cup of coffee. And so we are literally in a classroom right now, and you could be talking to us about physics, psychology, anything else, lecturing.
Totally. Yep, it's a very traditional lecture hall. So there are a couple of noteworthy features. We've got our analog clock here up on the wall that reflects your current system time. So since we sent these headsets to you, the system time might not be aligned to where you're actually at. But but it's about 10:30 in the morning for me. It's just a nice diegetic way to check the time, but you can also just check your time by looking at your watch. Yep. So you look at your watch and it just pops up there. Yep.
Yeah.
And
So I actually take my hand and I twist it, and the time comes up along with my sound icon. Basically, it's a heads-up display, essentially, right?
Yeah,
And,
it's like two controllers, right?
Yeah, it allows
it's like
me to
two
do
controllers.
reactions
Think of
and
it two
stuff.
video game controls. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can actually mute and unmute yourselves by touching the microphone icon. So it actually behaves like a touch screen. So you don't point and click at it; you just touch it with the little green dot. There you go. So it's really intuitive. Students, kids, grasp it really quick. So it's a great way for teachers to make sure that students' microphones aren't hot. Just good classroom management there, right?
Yeah, Danny, if I could, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I got to describe these things as they're happening. So I have the controller in my left hand, and as I turn it to myself, it's bringing up a heads-up display a la Iron Man here, Elvin. And with my other hand, my right hand, there's a little green dot, a cursor, and all I do is just take my little green dot and touch it to this heads-up display, and I can mute myself on it.
Yep. I just muted myself. Cool. Yep. Yeah, I just muted myself.
I'm going to mute you. Can I mute you?
No, you can't mute me. No, I'm gonna punch you.
I'm going to mute you as soon as I get a chance. All right, Danny, back to you.
For sure. So here in our auditorium, it seats 32. We got our big old clock. We also got this big old media screen. This media screen can be used to pull up all kinds of content. You can pull up your PowerPoints, your slideshows, your Google Docs, your websites, your podcast website, your
smart one,
your LMS. And you can pull all that stuff up on the fly. So I actually have a demo slideshow for a sea turtle ecology course we taught last year. So we can pull up our big old slideshow here. This is a sea turtle ecology slideshow from a course we taught last year. And it's just a regular old Google Slides. And I can scroll through it and scroll back through it.
This is a regular old Google slide on a 10 by 20 video board within the virtual classroom.
Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't want to minimize how cool it is. Like, it is super cool because the graphics are incredible. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, and Danny, you're doing this with your PC, right? You're showing the Google, right?
So I am on the HTC Vive headset, which is a PC-based VR headset. You guys are coming in on the standalone Meta Quest 2 headset. So I actually have some more robust graphical capabilities because I'm connected to a high-end graphics PC, and I'm beaming the signal directly to my headset though. But your experience, for $400 is almost just as good, right? Which is it's really good that VR allows us to have this kind of it brings everybody together. It puts everyone on an even playing field, right? In a manner of speaking, right?
Yeah. So I would be able to hypothetically, if this were filled with other avatars, I'd be able to look behind me and see the people who are sitting behind me in their avatar. In a 360-degree environment.
Absolutely. Now, so you think this video screen's cool, but let's say you're in an environment that doesn't have a video screen, or let's say you want students to have their own individual screens. Well, I can just pull them up, and I can shrink it down.
Whoa!
I'm gonna just slap one here. Boop.
So Danny just took the giant screen from off the wall, replicated it, minimized it, and stuck it in front of me sitting in the virtual classroom like my own PC. And so it looks like I have my own PC.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Good stuff, guys.
That's amazing. Look at that.
Any questions before we move on? We got a lot to show.
No, let's keep going.
All right, keep on going. So we're going to head off to our next destination where you're actually going to get the opportunity to interact with some 3D objects, and that is the science lab.
Ooh. Oh, that's cool.
All right. Get on in here, guys. Go ahead and join around the main demo table here.
All right.
Oh, Elvin is Frankenstein. Oh, look at that, man.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're
All
just
right.
like throwing your hands up in the air. Nice job.
All right. So, so for those listening at home, we have just arrived in our science lab, and if you take a look around here, guys, you'll notice that it's rather plain, rather vanilla, right? Not a whole lot going on. Nothing on the tables, nothing on the lab tables, nothing on the back wall, nothing outside the windows, nothing up here at the front, and that's with intent. That's on purpose, because we want the teachers to be able to decorate these classroom spaces according to their curriculum and their personal style. And that can be done through the power of a snapshot. A snapshot is a collection of 3D objects that can be crafted and then saved on the fly to be deployed at a moment's notice. Right?
Okay, so it's a load screen essentially, almost is what you're saying,
Well,
right?
it's not so much a load screen as so much as it is a. Well, I'll go ahead and show you. So I'm actually going to pull up. I'm actually going to be pulling up a recorded session of a class from 2 years ago, taught by our one of our favorite teachers, Wendy Martin. She's a high school biology teacher. She was a runner-up teacher of the year in 2019, and she's absolutely phenomenal, both inside and outside the headset. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up a recorded lesson of one of her oceanography courses. Now, when I say recording, you think it's going to pop up here on the screen, but no, it's actually going to be happening all around you. So when I pull up the recording, what I'd like you to do is when it all loads up for you, I would like you to explore the classroom space, see all the little details, all the little hidden Easter eggs she placed throughout her classroom space. So you ready?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Elvin, you ready?
Here we go.
To our second class in our 5-class series on basic oceanography. My name is Wendy Martin, and I will be teaching you today and for the next several class periods. If you don't mind muting yourself, that would be awesome. That way we don't get any outside noise. And if at any point there's a question, please raise your hand or get my attention, and we can definitely talk about that.
And I'll go ahead and pause Wendy there. So to load in for you guys?
Everything loaded in. Right now I am sticking my hand on a barracuda, it seems.
I'm good.
And I am looking at its color, the coral around it, and simultaneously wondering why Elvin is a foot taller than me, but that's for another conversation. But I'm walking through a seaweed or something, and I've got a fish that I can look at here. This is amazing.
Yeah, so Wendy made the rather bold choice of flooding her classroom space for her oceanography course. We're neck deep in seawater here in the classroom, and at the different corners of the classroom, we have examples of different types of coral, different types of seaweed, vertebrates, invertebrates, waterfowl. So we can talk about the different types of sea animals there. We have what do you see? What do you see above you here, guys?
Rain? It's raining on us, or is that the moon? Let's see. It's raining, and is that the moon? Is that the moon? I think
the moon.
Our planet. All right, that's the moon. So we've got a 3D replica of the moon sitting here in the classroom. It's pretty outstanding. And I'm about to watch this alligator or whatever this is eat a duck here for dinner. So this is outstanding. Pretty incredible.
So why do you think the moon's up here, guys? Let's see. Let's check your ocean knowledge.
I don't know. Tides? Something to do with the tide here? This is why we're underwater?
That's right. Today's unit that Wendy recorded is about waves, currents, and tides. So we have it raining, so talk about the water cycle itself. And then we have the moon up there, talk about the tides. And even if you look outside, you see she made the sky a little bit cloudier, a little bit stormier. So so we get that.
Also, a massive cargo ship out there in the water.
Yes, absolutely. So Wendy had a lot of fun putting together this snapshot. Probably took about an hour 15 minutes, and I use this recorded layout pretty much every time I do a tour. So it's infinitely replicatable. You put it once, you build it once, you deploy it as many times as you need to. Super cool.
So just for the audience who's listening and not watching, we're flooded in this classroom neck deep. So it looks like we're all underwater from the neck down. If you actually bend down a little bit, you kind of go underwater and you can see the fish and so on. And when you stand back up, you're above water again. It's pretty incredible. Elvin is off exploring. We don't even know what happened to Elvin. He's lost in the classroom somewhere, relearning oceanography.
I'm trying to figure this out. This is awesome.
And then, of course, I can clean up the classroom by just ejecting the recording, and boop, everything goes right back to normal.
Yeah, so we're
Good
back
stuff.
to 8 blank tables and a blank classroom. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's actually give you guys some 3D objects to interact with.
Sounds good to me.
There we go. Yeah, get on over here, Elvin. So here I've brought in
Oh.
you guys
It's a
are the
heart.
storyteller. Yeah, what have I brought in here, guys?
You literally have Elvin's heart in your hand.
Oh, that's
How do you
so
like
sweet.
that, Elvin?
I love that. That's very sweet. Very sweet.
Oh,
Oh,
It's
you smelling
a 3D replication of Elvin's very healthy heart here.
Very good. Now, in a real world classroom, if we wanted each one of our 20 students or 20 or 30 students to have their own heart, we have to buy a cart of 20 plastic hearts, right? But
Right.
here in the virtual world, I can just copy paste it. Everyone gets
Whoa.
one. So you can reach out and grab it with the front trigger, not the side
Wow.
trigger. There you go.
So I'm looking in to the ventricles here. I think they're ventricles of the heart. I have a
Mhm. Yeah, you got
3D
it.
heart in my hand. Wow.
Now this heart was created in-house by our very talented 3D modeling staff. We have over 7,000 objects in our 3D object library, some that we've created and some that we've curated from other reputable resources, all of which
Mhm.
are ready to be deployed at the request of the teacher for their upcoming lessons.
So I could be taking a test or having a lecture. Danny, you're giving me the lecture on the heart, its components, its reasons, and so on. And I've got it right in front of me. And as you're talking about it, I can be twisting it around in my hand as I am now to look at all the different parts of the heart. And Elvin, you blew yours up large. Not sure how you did that.
Yeah, let me show you how to do that. So there are 2 different ways to grab a hold of your heart. The first is if you put your hand right inside the bubble and grab, then you just grab it. But if you point and click at it from outside the bubble, you'll grab it at the tip of your pointer there.
Uh-huh.
Good. Now, if you use the right thumbstick, you can manipulate the heart. So the right thumbstick away from you will push it away.
See.
Back will reel it in, and left and right will grow it and shrink it. So go ahead and just make your heart huge. Just make it enormous and place it somewhere in the classroom. Yeah, just make it just bonkers
Whoa, we can
huge.
make this
Yeah.
heart is gigantic now, and we can literally see the inside of it. I'm putting my heart right on you, Elvin. That's where I'm putting it. This is so I could see now inside. It's basically a life-sized heart, for better or for worse. Here now I can't remove it, but Elvin, you're standing in my heart.
Well, it started
Always.
off life-sized.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
Wow.
go ahead and just the one I pulled up. Just go ahead and just walk yourself inside and take a look around inside.
Okay, I'm going in the heart. I'm literally inside the heart. I am in it, and I can see out of it now. So I can see out the top of it. I can see out the right. Oh, there's Danny on the other side of the heart tube, ventricle, whatever they're called. It's been a long time since I've been in school here. This is wow. This is incredible. So yeah, we're talking about immersive experiential learning here. I'm literally experiencing it from the inside. It's amazing. All right, so now I can grab my heart and I can reduce it down to normal size here.
Totally.
Okay. Wow.
Now
Pretty
look at
cool,
all this-
Danny.
look at all this fun we're having. This is just one object, right? We could bring in all of the human organs and have students sort them into their different systems, or put the cadaver back together, have a blank cadaver, and place the organs inside.
Right.
There are lots of different opportunities just by being able to grab and move objects on the fly, right?
Right. Wow. All right. Where to next, Danny? This is incredible.
All right. Alrighty. So we explored some traditional classroom spaces. And okay, you're gonna Mortal Kombat Elvin there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm ripping your heart out, buddy. No.
Thanks a lot there, Mr. T.
So we explored some traditional classroom spaces, and we did some rather non-traditional things in them. Let's go ahead and explore some non-traditional classroom spaces and show you the capabilities there.
So Joe, you got to describe the jumps. I think that's so cool when we go from one to another.
Yeah, the jump puts us literally like inside the Matrix in a loading screen, a la Keanu Reeves when he's in the white space and all the guns swing up. It's a dark space, but there's lots of lines going on around us, and it loads us. And now we're in a where are we, Danny? We're in, what is this?
This is our space station chemistry lab. This is one of our more robust locations here. So we actually have. Let me actually go ahead and turn off the ambient audio here. Boop.
Is this a picture of the Earth down below us here out the window? Is that what's happening?
Yep.
Wow. So we're looking out the window of the space station and onto planet Earth here. This is pretty awesome. Pretty cool.
All right. So if you come into the main lobby, you see actually we have a built-in lecture hall. So just like the auditorium, it's got the built-in seating, it's got the podium, it's got the big old media screen, and it's right here in this space, right? So rather than going from the first auditorium and then to here, you can just start off your lecture here. And of course, this space is better for doing rather than listening, right? All of our spaces.
How do I get the Tesseract here, Danny? Here, how do I get these giant glowing blocks off the wall? What are these?
I recommend that you don't touch the energy cores, or we're going to fall out of the atmosphere.
Okay, see that, Elvin? Already answered your question.
Smart man.
So come on over here to the builder space, guys.
Oh wow! Looking out on planet Earth again.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
The builder space is just a nice open floor plan here. It's just a nice open floor. We got these little rings on the floor. What do you think these rings are for here, guys?
We're going to build something on these rings, or they're for standing. They're for our student spots, perhaps.
Mm-hmm, you got it. Yeah, these little rings on the floor are merely suggestions for teachers to assign individual students or small groups of students to have their own space to build, say, atomic structures or things like that. Right?
Elvin, you're in my space, man. I was supposed to pick that one. Thank you. Get out of there. Go to a different. All right.
Now, one thing I want to emphasize here, guys, is just because we're in what's technically called the Space Station Chemistry Lab doesn't mean we necessarily have to do only chemistry up here. You can teach whatever subject matter you want in whatever space you want, so long as you, as a teacher, deem it to be a good visual, something that's going to get students engaged, something that uses the space well. So let's say you go to the bottom of the ocean. You could teach oceanography down there. You could teach sea turtle ecology down there. Or let's say you're a Greek mythology teacher, and today is Neptune Day, right? So you go to the bottom of the ocean, teach about Neptune, right? So that's just a couple different use cases for the same space. And we have over 60 spaces in our virtual library for teachers to enjoy, both traditional and very non-traditional.
Which keeps it really interesting for the teacher too, right? To change space, to change environment. Just like you would want to change a classroom environment, you look at smaller ones, larger ones, what's around you, what's engaging. I can see that would make it more interesting for a faculty member for sure.
Absolutely. Yes. Any questions before we move on to our activity here, guys?
Let's go to the activity. Elvin, you ready for the activity? He's ready. Don't mind him. He's in awe. Yeah.
So earlier I talked about snapshots, right? So snapshots are a way to both decorate a classroom space, but they're also a great way to put together a specific lab activity and deploy it on the fly.
Build a water molecule. All right, so we have molecules now in front of us, and we have to build a water molecule. Is that what's happening?
Yep. So we have 3 different atoms here, and it's going to be your guys' job to build a water molecule using these oxygens and hydrogens.
Elvin, do you know how to build a water molecule?
This is a group activity, so Alvin, you got to participate. Get on over here. I think Alvin's adjusting his headset or something.
We got to do something like this, right? Some kind of thing like this.
Well, that's two oxygens.
Oh, well, that's not going to work. Elvin, are you even? You know what? Can we send him to the principal's office at this point? I don't think it's working out for him here. All right. Hydrogen. There's a hydrogen. I'll take a hydrogen over. I'm putting it with my oxygen.
So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to align. So we got the protons in red, the neutrons in blue that make up the atomic nucleus. And then we have the electrons in gold that border that fly around the atomic nucleus there, right? So what you guys are going to want, let's go ahead and bring that up.
I'm just going to drop that right there. Okay. Alvin, get engaged here.
Hey, sorry about that. I had stuff going around me in real life. I'm going to try to help you out.
So it's important for when you're joining into a virtual classroom session that you find a nice quiet space where you're not going to be disturbed, so that you can get fully immersed with the lesson, right? So I'll go ahead and just get this one out of the way. So what we're going to want to do, Joe, go ahead and take this hydrogen. Elvin, go ahead and take this one over here.
Elvin, get your hydrogen. Let's go.
So what you're going to want to do is we're going to be aligning the electron to a free space on the outermost ring of our oxygen, and then you can just place it right there. There you go. Good.
Look at that.
Elvin, your turn. Remember when you use the front trigger.
The front trigger, right?
You're hitting the side trigger. You want the front trigger.
Oh, the front trigger. Okay, got it.
There you go.
Make me do all your work for you, Elvin.
Okay.
And then go ahead and align the electron to the outermost ring.
Like that?
So we're building a water molecule right now.
That's right. And you can also just reach out and grab it. Just like put your hand on, and then just grab it.
Mm-hmm.
With your trigger.
Come on, grab that.
There you go. And you want to put the electron on the outermost ring here.
Right here?
So that's the inner ring. You want the one on the outside. Put the electron on the out. There you go.
Right,
yeah, there you go.
We're really, really getting dirty with the work here. It's Elvin.
There you go.
Good job, Elvin.
So where are you right now in the world, Joe?
I am in my office in St. Charles, Missouri.
Right, and where was Elvin?
He was in New York.
Right. So that's hundreds of miles away, and you two got to build something together, right? You were and it wasn't just like pointing and clicking with a keyboard and mouse. You were grabbing things, moving things, having a kinesthetic experience, right?
Yes, we were building it together. Group work.
Right. Yeah. So group work in VR is much, much more powerful because it allows you to have those really intimate kinesthetic experiences where you can like grab things, move things, build things, high five when you get it right. That's the difference. That's the difference with VR right there, right? Good stuff.
Well, Danny, just like Elvin, my time is coming to an end here. I have to move on, but I do want to see one last thing that you would really like to show me that I can communicate to our audience. Like, what's the one thing that I need to see?
All right. The one thing you need to see that VR can do that no other digital medium can do is a sense of scale. So when you so go ahead and hold your hands up out in front of your face like this, right? Bring them together, bring them apart. That's the exact distance that you're doing that in real life, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Right? It's a 1-to-1 scale. So here in VR, there's no like differences in screen size. There's no difference between like a mobile phone screen and an iMac screen. It's all the same, right? So 1 meter in VR is 1 meter in real life. 1 foot in VR is 1 foot in real life. So teachers can use this sense of relative scale to create larger than life dioramas for students to engage with. So these atomic structures are accurate in terms of how many protons, neutrons, and electrons there are, but they are inaccurate in terms of the relative scale of those protons and neutrons and electrons, which takes us to this demo here. So this electron is about the scale of a golf ball here. I've intentionally made this one not grabbable so you don't accidentally...
I was going to say, I keep trying to grab it. The audience will see me trying to mess around with it. So this one, I made this only grabbable by me so you don't accidentally rescale it, right? So if an electron were this big, then in reality, a proton would be larger than this entire space station. So if I could, so you were holding a proton in your hand, and outside the space station, an electron, outside of the space station, I'm looking at a massive planet-sized proton.
You got it.
To show the scale of electrons and protons, which is pretty amazing to see visually like this. Yep.
Now, of course, it may be a little bit more difficult for you to really comprehend just how much larger this proton is compared to you. So let's bring in a large object that perhaps you have a bit more familiarity with.
Okay, there's a giant elephant now in the room.
That's right. You can come up and pet him. He's a good boy.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he is. And we can take our pachyderm friend and send him on outside, have him stand on the surface of our proton, and just can see just how much larger that proton is compared to us.
It's amazing. So the elephant is sitting on the proton, and the proton is showing its scale to the elephant, which there probably could be like 1 billion elephants on that proton.
You got it.
Wow. Well, this has been absolutely incredible, Danny. It's been a true pleasure to be inside of a VictoryXR, Metaverse? What do you call this? Virtual reality learning environment. The impact and the power that this has to teach students. I appreciate the tour. And all I have to say, Danny, is thank you. Danny Coyle, he's the lead software developer at VictoryXR. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, you've just EdUp'd.
Thanks, everybody.